Once upon a time in the magical world of a past live stream, a drawing was created with the title saying that it was exclusive for a future video. And now that video has arrived. In this video, I will be using 3 different kinds of watercolors and testing them out with these Just Dance girls to see which one wins out. Let's order them based on how expensive they are. I actually have more types of watercolors than this, but this is the big showdown watercolor test because I feel like these are my ones with the most color variety or expense. Haha. I also have those watercolor inks, but I only have 3 of those, and 2 of them are like technically yellow, so I don't think that would be good. And then I have watercolor pencils, but I'm not very good at using watercolor pencils, so pretend like those aren't a thing. So, this, I still have to decide which set I'm going to use for which drawing. It kind of depends on the colors, especially the small koi watercolors. But we have the shared Michaels $5 watercolors, pearlescent, and normal sets. The Arteza Real Brush Pens 24 pack, love these. And the koi watercolors, I don't use them because they scare me. Pocket Field sketch set with this color palette, which looks very different from over here, as you can maybe tell. So I'm going to match up each one of these watercolor sets to a girl. I will be drawing them. I'll flash the pictures of the real girls on the screen so you know what they look like, my basis for inspiration. Their sketch is already drawn, but I figured that would be long and boring. So we're skipping that part and we're getting straight into the watercolors. So I hope you enjoy. We will visit at the end to see which watercolor wins out. Okay, so for our first song we have Starships by Nicki Minaj. Ugh, she's so beautiful. This is the girl you fall in love with. So I decided to use the Michaels watercolors for this because they have great color variety and also pearlescence, and I figured her dance was kind of like a shiny looking thing with like that sort of candy vibe. Sorry, it keeps kind of going in and out of focus every time I raise my hand up. Did not anticipate that. Pearlescents, I decided to use them just for accents, but you really cannot beat the pearlescents. They're crazy. Even though, as a whole, the watercolors are like, okay, they have great color variety. Pearlescents, amazing, but you do have to get it really wet in order to activate the paint. And as I've said in previous videos, it does get really chalky. This definitely has the highest amount of chalk, so when you try and do relining, because the chalky stuff kind of covers it up, you try and reline it, it gets a little funky. Even coloring the background, so brave! See there, I did relining. This is Follow the Leader by Jennifer Lopez. Great song, highly recommended. This is also the girl you fall in love with. For this, I'm using the highest quality watercolors, which really, it's amazing. You just barely like touch them with a little bit of a moist brush and they get so wet, so I was really having to be careful and watch how much water I was putting down. I used that palette because she sort of has a more like muted earthy kind of texture, earthy tones, and so there's a lot of browns and reds in this, but there is also a lot of greens and blues. So I guess for a set of 12 it's really good. I'm also using a larger water brush here to do the background, which is usually a brush I use for inks, but I'm really bad at doing backgrounds. I'm also really bad at blending colors, so I was lucky that this had like all the right colors. If you know how to blend colors, I'd say that getting the 12 pack of these would be fine, but those are koi watercolors, by the way. I'm trying to like blend in some different tones, do it like dark on the edges, make it seem like there's sort of like a reflection, like it's in like the workshop, like it's supposed to be. But I'm just really bad at mixing watercolors, other than these watercolor pens, which come up next. Those are the only ones I know how to mix a color for. Definitely a high quality watercolor. I don't think I'll ever run out of those. This is Maps by Maroon 5. Now these, it's kind of impossible to tell how much of each pen I've used because I use them a lot, but you know, they're like pens. So one day I guess they'll eventually run out, but that day has not arrived. Great color variety, also great for shading. You can just put it down on the spots where you want it to be darker and then spread it out from there with like your water. I use that on the skirt and stuff.
if I had to pick a favorite, these are my favorite because they're the ones that I know how to blend, so I can make a greater variety of colors. I mean, I just can't. The ones in the palettes, I just don't know how to blend those. But you can get a great color variety. You can get light or really dark tones, depending on like where you put your colors. I sort of finished it off camera. I forgot to film. There's all three. As you can tell, you probably can't see that much of a difference between each one. It kind of just depends on like the chalkiness and like if it'll last the longest. Pearlescents, you can't beat those. They're so good. I use them all the time. They're the best. The koi ones, just great saturation. I feel like they would last you forever, even though this is just like the 12 set. And you could like travel with them. And then the Arteza ones, I know Arteza always be sponsoring people. You might think, oh man, Arteza, they're always giving their stuff away, but it's really good, and I like it a lot. I used to use them like exclusively after I got them because I thought they were so cool. Just great. They have such a wide variety of colors. Those ones probably went out for me, but this was really fun to do. This is a very big illustration, and I love Just Dance, so I enjoyed having these girls. If you enjoyed Just Dance too, why don't you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!